So you want to change careers, but you have no idea how you're going to afford it. Well, then you've come to the right place, because in this video, I'm going to share with you how I transitioned to an entirely new career with zero savings to my name. For the best info on how personal development can help you lead your life with courage and confidence, then subscribe to my channel and hit the bell so that you can be notified when I post a new video each week. I'm Mischaela Richter, and I'm an ICF certified personal development coach who helps creative seekers lead in their lives and their communities with courage and confidence. And now it's your turn. For more info on what I do, head on over to my website, mischaelarichter.com. You are watching this video because you are ready for a career change. You feel it in your bones that that next career is going to bring you more fulfillment, more purpose and meaning, that it's going to light you up and get you up out of bed in the morning excited to go to work. But you don't know how you're going to come up with the time and the money to make that happen. If this sounds like you, then drop a bingo in the comments below. So I myself did this very thing. I left a 15-year career behind and completely transitioned into an entirely new industry. So everything that I'm sharing with you today is what I did. And I'll tell you this, it wasn't easy, but it was worth it. So before I get into the following information, I just have to say this. There is no quick or easy route to a successful career change. It requires a lot of sacrifice, both mentally and financially, emotionally. It's not for the faint of heart. And it's totally worth it to be able to jump up out of bed, excited to go to work every day. So I just say that because I want people to know there's not a quick fix here. You have to be really sure in your heart, in your soul, that you're ready to take this on. And if you are, then listen on, because I've got some good info for you. We're going to be talking about money here, but we're also going to be talking about time. We all know time equals money, so it really needs to be a part of this conversation. Okay, financial consideration number one is training. What training is required to achieve the credentials you need to make this transition? So that could be anything from a university degree to a college diploma to a certificate to an online course. And I just want to say that it's a whole new world out there. So all of the above are viable options. There's a lot of companies now that are prioritizing your life experience over your education. So that idea that you have to have a degree is no longer 100% true. So really open your mind and explore the options out there. Like, what training will equip you with the minimum amount of skills that will allow you to start that transition. You can always add more training as you go. There's a lot of experience that you build on the job. So just to get that process started, what is the minimal amount of training required? And now the time aspect of that is you're going to have to carve out the time required to complete this training. So this might come from your current work schedule if you're able to shuffle those hours around, or it might have to come from the time outside of your work schedule. And if you're cutting your regular work hours in order to make space for the training, then there may be a loss of revenue there as well because you're working less. So how do you cover those costs if you already feel like funds are tight or you don't have any savings? Listen on. Loans. There are many options out there to help you cover the costs of your training. If the education that you're undergoing is recognized by your bank, then you may be able to qualify for a student loan or a student line of credit. And if it's not, then you can work with a financial advisor, whether through your bank or otherwise, to get you a loan that's going to help you cover those costs. So that's what I did. I was able to get a loan from my financial advisor, and we worked out a plan where I would be able to pay it back over the next 5 years. And I took that route because I was so excited for this path and just knew in my bones that's what I needed to do, that I was willing to undergo that debt in order to dive in and get started, knowing that I have a plan in place to pay it back. So when you believe in something hard enough, anything is possible, and things fall in place in a way that you couldn't even imagine. And maybe you do have some savings that can help you cover those costs. Or maybe you have somebody close to you in your life that's willing to loan the money to you, whether it's friend, family member. You don't know until you ask. You don't know until you start exploring your options. So if you just shut it down with a thought like, oh, I can't afford it, then you're done. There's nowhere to go from there. But if you get curious and start thinking, how could I afford it? That starts opening up options. I've seen it time and time again with my clients. They go from a mindset of, oh, I can't, to, hey, this opportunity arose. Oh, it turns out I am eligible for student loans, or it turns out, my parents will help me out with this, or who knows, right? So it's about opening your mindset to the possibilities. So the time aspect of this is, now I had the loan that's going to cover the finances, and now I have to find the time in my schedule in order to do this training. I was fortunate in that my job was flexible enough that I was able to carve out a whole day out of my schedule to devote to my training. And I actually just sort of squished those hours in amongst the other days of the week. So I had one whole day that was devoted specifically to this training. And a lot of continuing education programs for adults understand that you're still working. So there's a flexibility in the training schedule, or they tend to have it all in one day so that you can make those arrangements in your schedule in order to continue working while doing your training. Now, if you aren't able to do this, then you have to make the time out of the hours that are outside of your work schedule, whether that is in the morning before work or in the evenings after work. And this is the part where I say it's not going to be easy, because that's going to require some sacrifices of your downtime in the evenings, on the weekends, or getting up earlier in the mornings. So it becomes a question of like, how bad do you want it? Are you willing to make that time in your schedule? Now, throughout this transition, there was a constant juggling of time and money. My training took about a year, and then I started my own business while continuing to work my old business. So there was a 3-year period there of me slowly transitioning my time from the one career over to the other career, which always meant there was a bit of a gap where the revenue I was losing from the one job wasn't being made up in the other job, until I was able to build that back up over time as I gained more clients. So there's a bit of a mindset shift that's required here of perseverance through the tough times, because there was a lot of sacrifices that had to be made there. As I was juggling the time and the money, I'm working 6 days a week. I worked 6 days a week for 3 years. I sacrificed my evenings, my weekends. I sacrificed time with family, time with friends. And financially, I'm sacrificing trips, I'm sacrificing shopping, I'm sacrificing eating out. Like, I'm telling you, it was lean there for a few years. I went without my expensive skincare, my makeup, like I downgraded everything, because that's how badly I wanted this, because I had a vision and a goal of what I was working towards, and I was willing to make those sacrifices in the short term, knowing that I'm working towards this goal. So what helped me through this time period was my goal. Having a clear vision of what I was working towards helped me to make those sacrifices. It becomes a matter of choosing your pain. Life is gonna suck sometimes, that's just the reality of it. But you have a choice in what pain you want to endure. So is it the pain of suffering through a lackluster job that you've lost your passion for the next X amount of years until you retire or die? Or is it suffering through 2, 3, 5 years of training and transition into a new career so that you can then get up every day filled with purpose? You know, I chose the latter because I knew I could handle it. I knew I could get through a couple years of making these sacrifices if it meant that I would get to that goal. And I believed that I would get to that goal. And I did get to that goal. I'm here now, full-time coach, paying my bills, doing what I love. So it's, like I said, it was hard, but it's worth it. Because now I get to do what I love, I get to do work that I'm passionate about, and I know that the future stretching before me is one that's in alignment with my entire being. So the moral of the story is, if you find that thing that you want badly enough, anything is possible. You'll be willing to make those sacrifices because you're hungry for that goal. So just know it won't be easy, but it will be worth it. So I hope you found this to be useful information. Let me know in the comments below what landed for you, what was new for you, or if you have any other specific questions pertaining to what I just said. And if you're ready for a career change but have no idea where to begin, then I have an exercise to help get you started with that process. And you can download that for free by clicking on the link in the description below. This is the third video on my series of how to change careers. So if you haven't seen the first two, you can check those out right now. And if you like this video, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and share it with your friends. We want to get the good word of personal development out there to everyone.